How you doing? My name is Les Stark. Today is June 3rd, 2017, and a couple days ago, you may have seen the video on my channel. We planted 5 acres of hemp in the Lehigh Valley in conjunction with Lehigh University. Well, today we're planting another 5-acre field in Pinchot State Forest, and which is pretty interesting because Governor Gifford Pinchot was governor. He served 2 terms in the 1920s and the 1930s. And on May 22nd, 1933, Governor Pinchot signed into law the law that it would eventually cause trouble and make it impossible to grow hemp. That law was to ban marijuana, but back in the 30s, they had no scientific way to distinguish between what is plants that we call marijuana, or today we call cannabis, and what was industrial hemp. So it was easier to lump them all in together and ban it completely. So Governor Gifford Pinchot, his father was a logger and was responsible for helping to clear-cut Pennsylvania. Because all the forests that you see in Pennsylvania, none of it's old growth. It all basically cut down and replanted. So Gifford Pinchot realized as early as the 1920s and 30s that we had to have better sustainable harvest. And he believed in using the trees, but he believed in more sustainable harvest. He was friends with Theodore Roosevelt, and he was involved in lots of conservation efforts, both on statewide and on a national level. And he was personal friends with Roosevelt. And but still, Pinchot signed in the law that would make growing hemp impossible. And here we are. We got 5 acres. This was an abandoned anthracite mine, and this is for soil reclamation, or what you would call phytoremediation. If you look at the landscape, it's a very alien-looking marshy landscape. It's almost no topsoil. There's lots of big, heavy rocks and lots of smaller rocks. So it was a difficult challenge to come up with how are we going to seed this. And originally, we had the idea we were going to all manually carry all the rocks out of the field. But instead, what we did was got a lot of big rocks, but you can see, I don't know if it's picking up on the video, but lots of rocks just all over the place. So what we did was we raked the rocks with like a rake, and then sort of broadcast seed the whole field. And now he's going over to rake it and hoping that that closes over the seeds, and we hope they take and germinate. This is going to be a challenge because I'm from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and I live in Berks County, Pennsylvania, and both of those places have some of the best soil on earth, and that's what we're used to, what we want to grow on. This is going to be a challenge because we've been saying for 20 years that hemp will grow on even the most marginal land. This is our opportunity to prove it because, matter of fact, when we saw it, I thought this would be a great opportunity to test it, see if it grows on marginal land, but this is so poor that it would have to come up a couple notches to even be marginal. So if this hemp trial works, this will prove that hemp can grow anywhere. After this next week, we are going to plant a few more acres up in the Lehigh Valley for another phytoremediation project. But here we are, and we've already got 5 acres and now just about done here, so 10 acres altogether. And we planted some. Over here we have a couple trials. You want to just walk over, Erica? We have a little patch here that with a type of fungi that forms a symbiotic relationship with the plant, with its root structure, and helps get more nutrients. But you see how dry this dirt is. We took some little bit of water and put it on, but so that's one spot. And then after, we have another 1/4 acre plot where we're doing 1 bag of sort of base organic matter, sort of like a fertilizer, you would say. And then on the other 1/4 acre, we got 2 bags on that 1/4 acre, so we can see which, get different results. And then the other 4 acres here will just be with none of that, the fungi, beneficial fungi, or the fertilizer. See how it goes. But I have in my hand some hemp seed. Now, 200 years ago, my ancestors came to Pennsylvania and they planted hemp for generations. So, in honor of my ancestors, I'm going to return some hemp to the soil. There we go. June 3rd, 2017, Pinchot State Forest, hemp returns to Pennsylvania.